There are films that invite you to ask what happened, and there are films that invite you to ask, what does any of this mean? And then there are films like Only God Forgives that seem almost designed to make people ask the wrong questions. See, when it came out in 2013, audiences hated it. People called it pretentious and empty and style over substance, and they called it a 2-hour music video. Honestly, I get why. If you watch it expecting a crime thriller, it is almost insultingly unsatisfying. Characters don't behave realistically, dialogue is sparse, people act hypnotized or maybe drugged or stoned. Entire scenes linger way too long after they've conveyed the literal information contained within them. But I don't think Only God Forgives is trying to tell a realistic story. I think it's telling a psychological one. And once I started looking at it that way, almost every single strange decision in the film suddenly made sense. I don't think it's a movie about gangsters. I think it's a movie about hell. So first off, hell isn't a place. One of the biggest shifts for me was realizing that this film is not actually showing you Bangkok. Bangkok here is not Bangkok. The criminal underworld is not organized crime. The boxing clubs and karaoke bars and brothels and the eternal, never-ending neon corridors that feel so disconnected from ordinary life. The fact that there are no ordinary people around. There's no children playing. There's no bustling city traffic. There's no moments of ordinary existence. It's like everybody we meet is just kind of in a dream. It's like everyone we meet belongs there. And it reminded me of reading Dante's Inferno, because everybody we see in the movie is fixed in place. People aren't making choices about who they are. They're only expressing who they've already become. And that brings us to the protagonist, Julian. And Julian isn't really the protagonist in the normal sense, because normally a protagonist will drive the story forward, but Julian barely does anything. People criticize Ryan Gosling's performance because he seems passive, but personally, I think that's the point. Julian isn't passive because he's poorly written. He's passive because he has almost no self left. Every decision he makes has been filtered through his mother, his brother, his guilt, his shame. He's not really alive. He is dead. He is simply waiting for judgment. And Crystal, his mother, is not just abusive. She is the devil. Every time Crystal enters a room, she immediately defines reality for everyone else. She rewrites history, she humiliates, she seduces, she degrades, she tells Julian who he is. She tells him he is weak, he is pathetic, he is less of a man than his dead brother. She is way more than emotionally abusive. She is the voice that insists redemption is impossible, that his identity is already fixed, that he can never become anything else than what she has made him to be. And that's why Crystal feels completely overwhelming. She is not just physically dangerous, she is psychologically acidic. She will tear everybody and everything down around her to the atoms. And Julian has spent his entire life believing her. And then we have our third main character, we have Chang. Chang isn't the hero. And this is where a lot of viewers get frustrated, because they want to see Chang as some kind of vigilante superhero, but he doesn't behave like one, because he's not compassionate, he's not even particularly expressive, and he's pretty frightening. Because Chang does not represent goodness. He does not represent, happiness or ordinary life. Chang is like an avenging angel. He's judgment, maybe karma. He doesn't hunt people because he enjoys violence, it's because he's restoring balance. Throughout the film, people constantly mistake mercy for weakness, but Chang never does. He simply allows actions to reach their consequences. He isn't angry, he isn't vindictive, he is inevitable. Like gravity or death. And finally, we come to the hands. So the ending kind of puzzled me for a while. Like, why does Julian willingly offer his hands? If Chang is just another violent man, the ending is meaningless. It's just one more act in a string of brutality. But if Chang represents judgment, then everything changes. See, hands are agency. They're how we grasp, how we possess, strike, cling. And Julian spends the entire film unable to free himself from the identity his mother created. He tries to save himself through violence. It doesn't work. He tries to save himself through revenge. It doesn't work. He tries to save himself through obedience. It doesn't work. And finally, he comes to the only thing he has left, which is surrender. He offers to judgment the part of himself that has always committed harm. Not because suffering earns forgiveness, but because for the first time, he stops defending the self that deserved judgment. So the ending makes me think that Only God Forgives isn't interested in punishment. It's interested in repentance, and these are very different things. Punishment can happen without change, but repentance requires becoming someone new. There's a very famous line in Buddhism that means a lot to me. It says, hatred does not appease hatred. And the movie is trying to convey something similar. Violence doesn't solve violence, and power doesn't resolve shame. The only genuine movement comes when Julian finally stops trying to preserve the person his mother made him into. And that's why at the end, the film feels very peaceful, but not triumphant, not happy, peaceful. It's like someone has finally stopped struggling against the current. And this is why I think the film really resonates with people who have survived trauma and abuse. People often ask, why doesn't Julian simply stand up to Crystal? But if you have ever lived under a controlling or abusive parent or a spouse or whoever, it's not that simple. Abuse doesn't just hurt you, it becomes the architecture of your mind. You begin to see yourself through the eyes of the person who hurts you. You hear their voice long after they've left the room, and escaping them isn't simply leaving the house or leaving the room or leaving the building. It is learning that the person that they insisted you were was never actually you. And that's what, to me, Only God Forgives is about. Not revenge or even justice. It's about identity. It's about this slow, painful realization that the self we built to survive, the self built out of fear, has to die before our real self can live. So I don't know if this interpretation was, the director's intention, and I could be completely wrong. But I also don't think art has to be solved to be meaningful. And sometimes a film feels true before we really understand it. And for me, Only God Forgives is not a story about criminals. It's a story about someone who has lived for so long inside another person's cruelty that he mistakes it for his self. And it's about the terrifying possibility that forgiveness isn't something that someone else gives you. It's something that becomes possible once you let that false self die.